Hey guys, my name is Ali and I'm a data analytics manager working in Oslo, Norway. This is the fourth video in my intro to Power BI series, and in today's video we're going to look at how to load data into Power BI. So far we have focused on what is Power BI, we have gotten familiar with the interface, and also looked at how to navigate in Power BI. Now we're going to take things a step further and look at how to create reports in Power BI, where the first step is how to load data into Power BI. So let's take a look at that. So here we are in Power BI, and the first thing we have to do is we have to get some data into the actual solution. And you can see now on the right side under the fields, you can see it says you haven't loaded any data yet, get data. So when we look at the ribbon, and I've spoken about this before, there are different ways of getting data. You can get it from a Power BI data set, you can get it from an Excel workbook, and then you can go to the get data. And then also under more, you can see this extensive list of different types of ways that you can get data into the solution. Today we're going to do more of the traditional thing. We are going to load a spreadsheet, but I still want to look at some of the different ways. I still want to touch on some of the different ways that you can actually get data into Power BI. So let's give it a second. It's just going to load this menu. So here you can see under the get data, you can see right now we are under all, but you can see there's a bunch of different types, different ways that you can get the data into Power BI. Usually you are using maybe some files, or you are getting it from a structured source such as a database, or maybe even like a database, or maybe some sort of API, JSON. It could be other things. But then, spreadsheets is also something that you use quite often, especially if you are just getting to know the software after you're using spreadsheets. But if we look at the different stuff, if you click around file, you see the file-based way of getting data, database, the more structured ways, and there's a lot of different types of databases. So you can see there's a lot of connectors to that. The Power Platform, Power BI data sets, data flows. Then you have some Azure-based data sources, data lake. We got some blob storage, Synapse, SQL database, online services, etc. Lots of different ways that you can get data into the solution. Now, the first thing we're just gonna load some data in, and then in the next video we're gonna take it into Power Query, which is where you transform the data, where you work with it, where you prepare it for analysis purposes. Now you can use this menu over here, and let's do it in two different ways. So we'll go to get data, Excel workbook, and then we have the sample superstore. What happens then is that when you open that, it's going to establish a connection, and it's going to give you a preview of some of the, in this case it's a spreadsheet, so it's going to give you a preview of the different tabs in a spreadsheet. If it was a database, then it would give you a preview of the different tables. So let's see what this looks like. So here you can see different tables that are different tabs in the spreadsheet, and you can see it gives you a preview of what this could look like. And then what you want to do is you want to check off which tables it is that you want to bring into the report. So the moment I check this off, then you can see it's asking me for two things. Do you want to load the data, or do you want to transform the data? Now, if you remember earlier, you can see here, there's the transform option. If I click transform data, it's going to take me into the menu that gets triggered by the transform data menu, which is what I mentioned before. It is Power Query, where you can work with the data, prepare it for analysis purposes. One thing I could point out right away is you can see here, the columns are not, the names are not being used as the header name. So that is something that you would do under the transform data. If we look at the other tables, let's see. This is some sort of dimension. You can see it's a lookup table with some persons and some regions. And I believe this is, I'm actually not sure what this is. We have people and we have orders. For the sake of this video, let's just go into the transform part. We're not going to do any big transformations. I will show you guys how to work on a data model in the next video, but let's just open it to see what happens, because we're still loading data into the solution. So now you can see it has opened up a new view, notice that it says Power Query Editor, which is where you can change, you can work with the data before you load it into the solution, and then it is ready for analysis purposes. So we still haven't loaded the data because this is going to make changes to it, and then when I apply and close this, then it is going to load the actual data into Power BI. So just for the sake of it, we can just make a very small one, use first row as headers. So it will, you can see there, it now put that on top. And also notice on the right side, it says applied steps. Here are some different steps that have been performed now to get the data in. And notice this one, promoted headers. That's what I just did. And after that, all you have to do is go to close and apply. And now you can see at top, there are pending changes in each queries that haven't been applied. And you can see the actual load menu shows up. And after this is done, we get a check off. Notice the background change. Now it says build visuals with your data. Select the drag fields from the fields pane onto the report canvas. And if you look at the right side, you can now see that you have some data. So we have now successfully loaded some data into the solution. We haven't made any big transformations. We did one thing, we promoted the headers so that became the column name. But already, if you want to, you can drag out a bar chart. Can add a city, and then we could add a row ID, and we can count that, which gives us number of, I guess this is one row per each sale, and I'm looking at that now per the different cities that are in the data set. That is how you can load data into Power BI, a step that you will be doing time after time when you are creating Power BI reports. If you have any questions, then let me know in the comments. If you want to learn more about what Power BI is, or you want to learn how to create great looking reports, then check out the videos that you can see on the screen right now.